Good evening, everyone. We, Team 1, are going to present you our result of our investigation of the relationship between fan usage and air conditioner usage. Okay, our hypothesis. Does availability of fan equate to the reduction in air conditioner usage? We suppose that the residents with fan will reduce their air conditioner usage compared to the residents who those who have no fan. At this moment you may wonder, like, why do we choose this topic? So now I'm going to present you the comparison between the air conditioner and fan in terms of the cost and power consumption. The first one I'm going to present to you is the power consumption of the ceiling fan is 30 watt-hour per hour of continuous usage, and for a window air conditioner unit, it's actually 1,200 watt per hour for 1 hour of continuous use. If you are using ceiling fan instead of window AC unit, you can actually save 40 times of the power consumption. Okay, the second one is the cost. For the ceiling fan, per 1 hour usage, that costs you almost like 0.3 cents. And for window air conditioning unit, which costs you 14 cents. And if you're using ceiling fan, you can actually save 42 times of your electricity cost as well.
Okay, so the next thing, this is actually like how much aircon is. No? No.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we all know that during summer it's very hot, and therefore like people actually use a lot of aircon. And from this pie chart, we can actually see that 45% of the energy consumption, electricity consumption, is actually on aircon, and that's why we decided to focus our topic on aircon, because it uses a lot of electricity. And we need to reduce this energy consumption, because like Hong Kong's main source of energy is actually fossil fuel, and like we all know that fossil fuel is a non-renewable energy, and if we don't reduce this energy consumption, it will soon deplete. And everyone, most of the people who use aircon, they are not using aircon efficiently, and actually the difference between when you use aircon with lower energy consumption and high energy consumption is actually 784 watts per year, which is the highest difference between when you compare to other electrical appliances.
And let's see about what we did about the research. This is what we wanted to do at first. At first, we compared the room with fans and without fans. However, we find this is too general because the variety is too big. And then, to make our result to be more accurate, we analyzed the data on weekdays, considering the fact that many local residents go back home during the weekends. And at first, we wanted to find about 2 weeks, 14 days before randomly, but we find maybe the weather varies from each other, so we choose 10 days, 10 weekdays before reading week, which is really hot. And the third procedure, we made a questionnaire for 12th floor, which is boys' floor, and 23rd floor, which is girls' floor, to consider more factors like how many hours they stay in the rooms, sleeping hours, etc. And this is the questionnaire we made, and thanks to those who have answered the questionnaire and helped us a lot. After doing this, we come to data, and we took the average of 5 rooms with fan and 5 rooms without fan from these 2 floors as a comparison. So about this graph, let's leave the floor to Ibno. Let him to introduce. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Joanne. So what we can see here is the comparison between 5 rooms which had fan and 5 rooms which did not have fan. So what we can see is like the rooms that did not have a fan over the 10 days period, they had the air conditioning power consumption by the air conditioning per average per hour was 0.11069, and the rooms that had fans, it was 0.03012. So we can notice the significant difference between the power consumption by the air conditioning when the residents have a fan or doesn't have a fan. To be more precise, it's like the rooms which had a fan, they had power consumption by the AC almost 3.7 times lower than the rooms that doesn't have a fan. So that's like a big difference. And also because it was like really hard to standardize the data because a lot of factors come into act. So that's why we tried to standardize as much as possible, like taking factors like is the resident a local or non-local, the side of the orientation of the rooms, and the sleeping hours, etc. Into our consideration. But I think we need a bit more analysis. Hopefully we can do it in the future, like we can have data from more floors so that we can have a more accurate data. So I'll pass the floor on to Penny to talk about the advantages of fan. Thank you.
Thanks for Iblu. So from the conclusion part, we could say that the use of fan really reduces the use of air conditioner. So how could the fan benefit us? How could the fan cool us? Just as the figure shows us, without the fan, the hot air is surrounding us. You will feel hot. If the fan is on, the fan could remove the hot air away, then you could feel cool. That is to say, the fan could not make air cooler. So there is no advantage to leave the fan on all the day if you are not in your room. Anyway, using a fan not means getting rid of your air conditioner. You can combine them together, then you will see a perfect effect. You could set up 4 degrees higher and without encountering your cooling comfort. This behavior could cut your cooling cost to 4 to 6%. For some people, it seems that to fan or not to fan, this is a question. But actually, there are more distinguished benefits for you to use a fan. Fans could keep the room airy. If you want to keep the sweats out of the room in the summer, these fans could do the benefit for you. Fans could reduce the power bill. Just as we know, the use of fan is much less than the use of air conditioner. So it is acceptable to reason that if we use more fans, the cooling cost will be less. The use of fans can be complemented with an air conditioner. Just as I mentioned before, if you combine them together, you could live a better life. Fans can act as a backup. Just for some accidents, if in the summer the fan, if your air conditioner broke up, you could use fans instead. Fans can keep fires away. In most situations, the snack shops will use fans to keep the fires away from the food. So if you could use the fans correctly, you can even keep the mosquitoes in a certain direction. Well, so come on guys, please buy a fan for yourself.
So based on the study of using the fans over some suggestions, like we will encourage our residents to use more fan instead of aircon. So we can set up our fan rental system, because someone may not want to buy a fan or will find it troublesome to go down to the store to buy a fan. So we suggest the system. Then we may have several fans in the lobby or in the pantry so that you can rent it and then use it when you think you need it. Or we can still install a ceiling fan in every room so that we will have no excuse of we don't have money to buy a fan. And also we suggest to have regular cleanup of aircon filters, because we know that if we clean up the filter can increase the energy efficiency of using the aircon. And we can also provide the instructions how to clean it up to the residents, or we can help each resident to clean up, like we will collect all the aircon filters in the lobby, or the attendants can collect it from every room on a designated day so that we can help everyone to wash it. And also we will encourage everyone to set up a mosquito net, because we know that someone will think that you're afraid of the flies or the mosquito coming in, so we will turn on the aircon so that you can close the windows, so that if we can set up the mosquito net, you will have no excuse of it. We can encourage residents to buy it, because it should be cheap, like within $20, or we can sell the DIY packs to the residents. And also, we hope to raise awareness towards the real necessity of turning on the aircon, so that we hope to set up a warm reminder in the lobby to tell the people that today's temperature, and then which aircon mode should we adjust on that day, so that we can have the most energy efficient mode of the aircon. Like if it is very hot, you can set up high cool 2, but it's maybe 25 something, you can set up to low cool 4 or 5. And then one of the I think is the realistic suggestion is that we can modify our credit system of the aircon, because today we will in the aircon credit adding system, we will add 10 credits each time. We cannot add it one by one. So that if we think that if we can add a credit one by one, it can prevent the energy wastage of people forgetting to turn off the aircon. And also someone will find that when we are well slept, we will not notice the aircon have been turned off, so that if we add on the credit one by one, if the aircon may be turn it off 2 to 4 hours after we have slept, and then we won't know, and then we do not really need the aircon, so that it can help us to save money and also save the energy usage. And I know that this credit system has been adopted by other halls, but not in our residential college, so that I think we can adopt it. Thanks so much for listening to our presentation.
We're almost at the last part of our presentation. So this is a quote that I like a lot. Don't wait for the change, be the change. We might think that what we can do alone, but let's not forget the famous quote, a journey of 1,000 steps, 1,000 miles start with a single step. So let's all play our own role in making the world more sustainable and more peaceful. Let's get aware of the environmental issues like global warming, and encourage others to work together and to make the world a better place for ourselves as well as the future generation. I would like to thank Christina and Blue Sky for running this excellent program in your college. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank our judges and our guests, Dr. Sergio, Mr. Calvin Lai, and Mr. Christopher Lee, for spending your valuable time in motivating us for working for a better future. Thank you all.
Questions?
You just mentioned the continuous usage of AC for 1 hour. You just give me the data, but have you noticed that the AC usage, if the indoor temperature is roughly equal to the outdoor temperature, you will stop. Indoor temperature is usually equal to the set temperature. You will stop operating for some time, and the power usage is largely depends on the outdoor temperature. So, how do you think of this, the reliability of the data you just gave now? Thank you.
The source is from New York Times. Yeah, it's from the New York Times official article. It's just the average power consumption, the mean power consumption.
But is it the same AC in your college? I think it's
Window unit, air conditioner unit,
maybe,
air conditioner
some
unit.
difference.
Yes, and the New York data, the New York Times may have some conditioner on the data, and the condition might be fixed. So, can you add more condition about this data?
What do you mean by condition of the data? Because the data is what we collect. The data is what we collect from the new college. That one, yeah. So the data is very reliable, and we made the every day the daily the daily chart for it and analyzed it.
I'm sorry, may I? Can you repeat your question?
When did they test it? And what about the logo? What about the kind of the window air conditioner? And what low the temperature is? And about the low fan or high fan?
Oh, you even don't know the logo.
Logo?
No.
You mean the
low
brand?
or high one? Okay, when you open an air conditioner, then they have some requirements because it is not fixed and the temperature is changing. Can you further give us what is the condition of the fan?
You mean the condition of?
Yes.
Of what?
Of the fan.
Of what?
Of the air conditioner.
The condition of the air conditioner in what condition?
I think maybe you didn't notice there is high 5, high 3, or something like that.
Do you mean the cost and power consumption? It's the mean power consumption. It's the research carried out by the New York Times, and it got this data.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Kind of ask, what is the research about?
What is the research about?
It's going to use 40 times as much energy, but you're not going to get the same level of thermal comfort performance. So people are saying, well, maybe if you're going to use that fan, it's still not enough. You have to still turn on the AC at some point. You know, it's not you're not comparing apples to apples.
Questions?
Yeah. Can you tell us more about the efficacy of the fan repelling mosquitoes? Because I have a fan in my room, but it doesn't work.
Well, thank you for your question. I say if you could use your face correctly, that means if your face have the power big enough and just a certain distance keep the mosquito, just not all sweep them all away. Yeah.
My fan is like only 50 centimeters from me. But the problem is like even if the fan is on full blast, and then I measure it, actually it costs something like 60 something watts, but then it still doesn't like blow away the mosquito.
I think you're too delicious.
Any last question, maybe from the panel? Are there any questions? All right, and thank you. Thank you.